Hey, it's Jason Cruz with MMA Payout, and we got another interview here. This time last year, this guy was actually boxing. I could see him every other month on Top Rank, and now he is in the PFL playoffs. It is Clay Collard. Hey, how you doing, Clay?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Oh, great, great, great. So, hey, how did you switch from being a boxer, Cassius Clay Collard, to now, 1 year later, PFL playoffs?
I've always been a mixed martial artist, man. So, you know, I was looking forward to the 2020 PFL season, and it got canceled because of the pandemic. So, that's why I took that little run in boxing. I fight to pay my bills, man. I fight for a living. So, a year off isn't very good for me. So, yeah, we switched over to boxing. I took a little run at that for a little while, and then the 2021 season of PFL started. So here I am.
Yeah, very good. So, how did you get so many fights in so little time for boxing?
Man, I like fighting tough guys, and nobody else did. So, we were getting fights that nobody else wanted. Nobody else would would take those fights, and so I was taking them, and I was beating the guys. So
awesome. So, when you got to the when you switched over back to MMA, what did you was there anything that changed as far as training goes? I assume that you incorporate more wrestling and grappling, but did anything in the regimen change as you got ready for this season?
We're always adapting, fight to fight, depending on who we're fighting, depending on what sport we're fighting in. So, my training is constantly changing. So, I mean, even if it's a boxing match or a mixed martial arts match, like I'm still constantly working on my martial arts, So, yeah, my training is constantly changing. So.
Gotcha. And so tell me a little bit about your first fight with Anthony Showtime Pettis. They should have nicknamed you instead of Cassius HBO, better than Showtime. But but I stole that from someone. But tell me a little bit about, I'm assuming everybody thought that this Pettis, since he came from the UFC, that he was gonna walk through to the playoffs, but you stopped him with his very first fight. Tell me your feelings about that and how you went in going to that fight.
Man, I knew I was a bad matchup for Pettis from right out the gate. I'm a pressure fighter. He doesn't really like pressure fighters. I have really good boxing. So I thought I was a bad matchup for him from the beginning, and I was working my butt off. Yeah, I'm chasing after that $1 million. So Anthony Pettis was just a guy in the way, hats off to the guy, I respect him and what he's done in the sport and for the sport, but like it's my time, So
yeah. There were some times in that I watched the fight a day ago, and there were some moments in there where it looked like the ref could have stopped the fight on your behalf. Was there a portion of you during the fight that you thought, hey, why is the ref stepping in? Or is it just because Pettis is a tough dude?
I mean, that's just a judgment call, and that's the ref's judgment call. So, I did have him hurt. There was a couple times in that second round where I thought I could play, Pettis is tough as they come. So, he just jumped up, kept fighting. So hats off to him there. He's as tough as they come. So.
Yeah. Now, next month, Friday the 13th is going to be a lucky one for you. You got your next fight. You're in the lightweight semifinals of the PFL championships. One more fight away from that $1 million opportunity. Tell me a little bit about your opponent coming up.
Haush. I'll mess up saying his last name probably, but he's a Muay Thai striker. Against Luderbach, he did show a little bit of his wrestling. He's fought both the same dudes I fought, and I think we both, held up pretty well against them. We both have wins over them. I was a real close one with Luderbach for both of us. That guy's a game dude. He's real tough. I felt like that. I had moments in the fight where I was closer to finishing Pettis than he was. It's just we're neck and neck, man. We're right there fighting for this $1 million. So it's gonna be a crazy fight. It's gonna be a good show. I hope he tries to stand and play the striking game with me a little more than everybody else. But it's going to be exciting, man, regardless.
Awesome. Great. And so where are you doing your training camp? You told me you're up in Idaho, hidden up there. Is that where you're training? Or are you doing some other stuff?
No, I'm here in Idaho, man. This is my home right now and where I want to be. So I have a great team behind me. I have a lot of supporters here. So I'm here in Idaho. I have my gym here. I'm swimming, running, climbing hills, jumping stuff. I'm doing everything,
Nice. I was in, like I told you off the air, I was in Coeur d'Alene a couple of weeks ago, and Idaho is a beautiful state, but really hot and hilly, really hot. Do you train in the heat? Do you just go inside? What do you said it was 100 degrees the other day?
Yeah, so you just gotta work around the sun. Early mornings aren't so hot, late nights aren't so, when it starts to get later, it's not so hot, but you still could catch a little bit of that sun. So it just depends on the time, man. If it's too hot outside, I go inside. If it's nice outside, I'm outside. Okay. So we just it's kind of play. We're all at the weather's mercy,
Yeah, gotcha.
So we just kind of do what we can. When it's too hot, we decide to go kick back, go kayak or something. So
the lakes are beautiful in Idaho. It's a secret. It's definitely a secret. Clay, how do you enjoy the PFL schedule? It's a set schedule, kind of like the league. Is this better than attempting to find fights in boxing or MMA or anything like that?
Man, I absolutely love it. Just knowing when I'm gonna fight, where I'm gonna fight, how many times I'm gonna fight for the year, what the pay is looking like. Like it brings a lot of structure and consistency to the fight game, which is normally not the case. Normally you never know when you're gonna fight, where you're gonna fight, who you're gonna fight, if you're gonna fight. You're bouncing around all over the place, so it's nice to have some structure and to be able to focus on the year and not have to worry about when and where and why and who and things like that. So
gotcha. And so after assuming you win $1 million, will you make a return run to PFL? Will you dip your toe back into boxing, or are you strictly back into MMA?
Man, I do want to get that PFL belt and hold on to it for a couple of years. I don't want everybody thinking it was a fluke that I got it once. I want to hang on to it and take pictures with it and hang it up in my gym, in my house. I want to keep that thing for a few years and show it off. So I think I will come back to PFL. And then after that, who knows, man? Who knows what the future holds? With the way the world's going nowadays, I could be fighting one of the Paul brothers or some internet celebrity, or I could be fighting Dane Cook, for God's sake, you know? So yeah, with the way the world's going today, man, I don't put anything past it. I could be freaking trying out ballet, for God's sake, you know.
Well, you got to scour the YouTube to make sure you could find a guy you could beat up really well. So
hey, man, I could beat up anybody. That's what they don't know.
Hey, Clay, I appreciate your time. Good luck Friday the 13th, August Friday the 13th, and lightweight semifinals. We definitely will be watching. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, Clay, have a good one.